Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Q&A podcast on Inside the Birds YouTube channel. Our birds are still on the road to winning, on their way to a Super Bowl, hopefully. Got a very needed win, 25-20 over the Bears. I'm your co-host, Jason Avant. I'm here with my main man, Quintin Mikell. Q, say what's up to the people.
What's going on? Glad to be back. It's a little crazy times right now, but we're excited, man. We're doing all right.
We're excited about it. Let's do a little housekeeping before we get started into the show. We want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Xmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever you do it with your family, do it well, and happy holidays to everyone out there. Make sure that you are tuning in to Inside the Birds platform YouTube channel to catch our show. Also, make sure that you are emailing your questions to insidethebirds@gmail.com. Again, email your questions to insidethebirds@gmail.com. And also Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Amazon, and Apple. Check us out anytime. Q. Eagles, much needed win to continue their winning streak, defeat the Chicago Bears in frigid cold Chicago, 25-20. We just came off of a cold game. I did not think that the cold would affect the team the way that it did. Apparently, the cold in Chicago is different, which I know because that's my hometown. It's different from the cold that's in New York City. So let's talk about a few things, not just the cold, but just the big picture takeaway. What was your big picture takeaway from the game, offense and defense?
Well, I think for me, big picture, I mean, the most important thing is they got the win. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't great, but this time of the year, it's going to happen like that. You're going to have some games that are going to be tough. Teams are going to come out and fight harder than expected. They're going to have different schemes. So, big picture, I think this team is still in a good spot. Obviously, it wasn't perfect by any stretch, but they did enough to win the game. They got out of hostile territory with a win, and just, let's keep it moving. Keep it moving.
Yes, sir. My big picture takeaway is that, yes, you figure out a way to win the game. I thought that the Bears team, everyone, I got caught up in the hype. I must say that because everything that I wrote down on paper to study for the Bears, for all of the shows that we did last week, showed me that the Bears were losing games by 3, 1, 3, 9, right? They only lost by double digits 2 times this entire year, once to the Cowboys and once to the Green Bay Packers, right? So they're a team that's in all of these football games because their quarterback is dynamic and they play extremely hard. That's a well-coached football team. They're not a talented team, but they're well-coached. So I didn't think it would be as hard as it was, but when you consider how the weather was a part of it and also Jalen Hurts being off, this was by far his worst game, not just because of the interceptions, everybody, not just because of the interceptions, He missed a ton of reads in this game, a ton of them, not just 1 or 2, not only read option reads, but also just passing reads, which would have, and missed throws too, which would have made the game way more lopsided than it was. So my big picture takeaway, we have to keep the main thing. There's no way Miles Sanders go an entire quarter without touching the football. Just shouldn't happen, especially after coming off 144 yards. And also our run defense has to shore itself up, especially knowing the Chicago Bears are a one-dimensional team that runs the ball with the quarterback and also with David Montgomery. How does he average how do they average 6.1 yards per carry in the first half of that football game? So those things that are sticking out to me. There are some other things we're going to get to in this show, but those things are kind of sticking out to me. All right, big news. last couple hours, last 3 hours or so, there's a good possibility that Jalen Hurts may be out for the next 1 to 2 games because he went down, had a shoulder sprain. It could be an AC joint sprain. I am so glad when I saw it. I thought it was going to be his collarbone
Yeah.
because that's what happens. You usually break your collarbone in that situation when you get a 350-pound dude that puts all of his weight and your fat butt, whoever you are, I can't remember his name, number 99. What's 99? I can't remember who it
I'll
was.
get it. I'll get it. Go ahead.
But it could have been someone else. Could have been 98, 99. Whoever it was put all of his weight on him on purpose. That was definitely on purpose. The reason I know that is because I've had conversations with many defensive linemen that have said before, if I get a chance, I'm going to try to knock the quarterback out. And that was one of those, I'm going to try to knock the quarterback out of the game moments. And he almost successfully did it. And that's why a couple weeks ago, when everybody was so impressed with Jalen Hurts running for 150 something yards versus the Green Bay Packers, I was sitting here like, man, I don't want to see that. And people thought I was hating on Jalen Hurts for it. The reason I don't want to see it because you give one of these big dudes an opportunity in a time of the year where you need to be conserving for the playoffs. And that's why you don't want it. Eventually, one of these times, one of these big dudes are going to get him. And they ended up getting him this time. So what do you think about that injury? And
Yeah,
also
that
him
was
missing
tough.
time, possibly.
I thought the same thing as soon as I saw it. I mean, that's textbook collarbone fracture right there.
Yeah.
And
Travis Gibson.
that's the name. Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot to get that. But yeah, and that's kind of the tough part you see when, a lot. I mean, look at Lamar Jackson's out. I mean, these running quarterbacks, even um in Buffalo,
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. He runs all the time. He's had a couple injuries this year, so it's tough on the running quarterbacks because once, like you said, their plan is to inflict as much damage as they can on these
Yeah.
quarterbacks, and so I agree with you on that. It was tough. It was tough to see, but I know I've had a shoulder sprain before. I've had them in college. They are not fun to deal with. I've actually played through them before, but again, I was a safety. I wasn't playing quarterback. I wasn't expected to throw, but every type of movement up, any type of hit, everything, it hurts. And so, he's probably gonna be out closer to 2 games. I'm thinking, and if I'm the head coach, if I'm Sirianni, I'm gonna sit him even if he's 100%. I'm gonna sit him for the next 2 games and make sure he's ready for that playoff run.
Yeah. I don't know how bad it'll be. Jalen Hurts is a tough dude. He's a
Yeah.
very tough dude, and you can tell he actually threw the ball better after he hurt his shoulder.
Mhm.
A couple of throws that he threw right behind it. The next play he hit Devontae on a deep comeback on the right side. Then he hit AJ Brown for the play that kind of changed and opened up the game a little bit on the deep ball against Jalen Johnson, who played extremely well. Shout out to Greg and Adam and Jeff for talking up Jalen Johnson, who played a really good game, I thought, even though AJ Brown had a great game himself. That young man competed the entire game, and I really respected him. And talk about speed. Did you see Brisker on that play? Go get AJ Brown. I was like,
Yeah.
yo, this dude can run. And it wasn't even close. AJ Brown thought he was going to tiptoe in for a second. He didn't start running. It's like, oh, this dude can run behind me. He can run.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're competitive too. And it wasn't just him covering AJ Brown and making it hard. It was him coming up, hitting people. He smoked Gainwell in the flat one time. He was the first aggressor toward the line of scrimmage. They used them to cattle in Jalen Hurts when it comes to the read option. Like there was just more bodies, which made him cut up into the big guys. And that was part of the game plan. The corners did a good job in wanting to make tackles in that game. So I just shout out to that shoulder sprain. Hopefully we can overcome it. I know that we can win a game or two without Jalen Hurts. I think we'll beat the Cowboys without Jalen Hurts, to be honest.
I agree.
So I'm not saying like it's trivial, What I'm saying is that our man needs rest right now, and give him that rest, and don't put the pressure on him to get out there just because we want to beat the Cowboys.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Those plays with, if he's going to miss 2 games, you would think that he can play this. If this was the playoffs, he would be playing right now if he was able to finish the game. Is that your state of mind?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're just being cautious. The throwing shoulder. I think he's a tough kid. He's a big, strong kid, and to that point, a lot of other quarterbacks might end up with something worse if he wasn't as physically strong as he is.
Yeah.
So I
Because
agree. I think
he put all of his weight on him. He was trying to hurt him. He was
Yeah.
literally trying to hurt him.
Mhm.
And I want to emphasize that. And it's totally legal because he's a runner in that moment, in that time. I want to emphasize that to let the fans know that, yeah, there's a game where you try to, there are some players that are going to be integral and try to play and be a sportsman. And then there are some players, which is not wrong either, that's going to go out there and try to do their job hard. And they're trying to win, so if they can knock you out, they will. So you got to understand the two. There's some people that are great sportsmen, and then there's other people who aren't, and you got to respect both games.
Yeah.
If you're out there playing, you got to play like nobody cares about
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, offensive players, man. That's part of the game, man. Defense, gotta knock them out the game.
Yeah.
We ain't
Like
gonna sit here and just
dudes,
be one
some
side.
dudes on defense. Like, you know how many dudes that try to be my friend out there? Avant, chill out today, man. Chill out today. Like, you know what I mean? That's how it was. So you got them dudes is like, man, take care of me. And then you got other dudes is like, all right, let's go. I'm gonna knock you out. That's how the game is. And you can't put your trust in that.
You're right.
Criticizing pass heavy game plan. Is it because there's a pass heavy game plan and that's part of the reason he got injured? But he got injured on a read option.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the game plan. I don't think they went into the game plan. Went into the game with the plan to throw the ball as much as they did. I think a lot of those zone reads, those RPOs, were dictated by the defense. With the stunts and pulling and staying aggressive after the run.
They forced him to pull.
Yeah, and we've said this. That's how you attack a team that runs this. You force the quarterback to pull, and you hit him as much as you can, and play solid defense on third down.
And they were tagging him too.
Yes,
they weren't just hitting him; they were tagging him. They got him. They got him pretty much every time he ran. Yeah. Besides the ones that he went out of bounds. Even when he was getting down, somebody got him.
Yep. That's it. That's what you have to do. And it worked for the most part. They still lost the game, but it affected his gameplay.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna get into it because I want to hear your thoughts on how strategically that was accomplished, what they did, specifically about that a little bit later. If Hurts wants to play in New Orleans is, I believe, a couple weeks from now, the following weekend after, the Cowboys. Do you let him play?
I don't think, that's not a game that we need. For me, I'm looking at the big picture, and the big picture is ultimately to win the Super Bowl.
Whoa. The big picture is to win Super Bowl, but it's also to get guaranteed number 1 seed throughout the playoffs, right?
True.
Right. Great. So they're in position to do that. They can't lose them all.
Right.
Who's second right now?
I'm about to look it up right now.
I think we're who's second? Is it
it's the Vikings, right?
I think we're 2 or 3 games ahead of everybody.
See,
the Vikings. And we got them by 2 games. Right? What are they?
Yeah.
3?
All right. So here we go. Let's see who's
Yeah,
leading.
exactly.
Eagles
So we're basically
13-1,
three. We
Niners
basically got
10-4.
games on everybody.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so we got to
Right.
win. We got to win one. Let's say two.
Where's that game? Let me look. I can't
The
find my
Saints.
schedule.
The Saints is at home, right?
Okay. Eagles schedule. Sorry, guys. Bear with us.
Oh, you're good. You're good. So,
All right. So yeah. So we got Cowboys, and then Saints at home, and then the Giants at home. So 2 divisional games left. If he's, I would say if he's at 100%, I would let him play in the Saints game. But if he's not like 100%, no pain, I would sit him for that game because you got the Giants the following week. So you get 2 out of 3 games.
But the
It also
Giants,
depends on
that's normally the game that people sit. So what's the purpose? If the
Yeah,
division
that's
is
true.
if the division is tied up, let's say Gardner Minshew comes in and balls this week, the Eagles beat the Cowboys, right?
Yeah.
And we just beat the Cowboys. I think we can beat the Saints.
True.
What's the purpose in bringing him back unless it's just for a dress rehearsal to make sure that he still has his timing?
That's what I'm saying. So we're
Because
talking, and if they get a bye week,
because then it's the bye week too. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, no, you're good. So we're talking that would be what, possibly 4 weeks before he gets back on the field. You can get a little rusty. Your timing can be off. Anything can happen in that time. So that would be and I'm not saying he should play the whole game. If he's 100%, I would say maybe play a couple drives and then pull him if he's back 100% for that Giants game.
Yeah. Okay.
But if he's not, then you gotta let it rock until he's 100%. It's the worst time for this to happen.
It is.
You know.
It is. And like I said, a part of there's some I got a few clips tonight. I'm gonna show you tonight. Like I got a few clips for you later on.
Okay.
It's certain things. There were certain situations where it was Jalen Hurts, and then there was one play in particular. It was Jalen Hurts' bad read, but it was a terrible play design. The concept needs to be punted somewhere far away from the game plan. That shouldn't even just in general. Like it was just a terrible play. Structurally, it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
You get what I mean?
Yeah. I can't wait to see that one.
Yeah, so we'll get into that a little bit later. Minshew, let's talk about Minshew really fast. His expectations to beat the Cowboys and also to finish out the NFC East, if that's the case for Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, expect him to come in and execute. Expect him to come in and win the game.
Yeah.
He's been a starter in this league. He's smart. He's done it before. You, you just can't go in and expecting him to do too much. You can't go in and expecting him to beat Jalen. Just go in and play your game plan. We're gonna have to rely on the run a little bit more. Hopefully, defense plays aggressive, get some turnovers and some extra possessions for the offense. But ultimately, and I hate to say this word, but I hate to say game manager, but it's almost like he's got to be a game manager for this next game. Just manage the game. Don't make any big mistakes. Put the ball where it needs to be. No turnovers, and let's get out of here with a win.
Yeah.
But
I think Gardner Minshew's a baller. That I like Gardner Minshew. I think he's probably the best backup, top 5 backups for sure in the league.
okay.
I like him. I think he should have an opportunity to start more than a lot of these dudes that starting, because I'll be seeing some trash on Sunday out there playing some quarterback position. Like, you know what I mean? Like real. I'm not gonna lie. It's some bad football playing quarterback positions. Like some dudes that's scared to let it go. Like I sit up and watch Geno Smith the other night talking about the second coming of Geno Smith. Geno Smith scared as ever to throw the ball past the check down.
Alex Smith 2.0.
Man, brother, it's killing me. All right. Let's get into the second topic, man. Let's get to the second topic. You
All
got the
right.
second topic, Q.
All right, let's Eagles. So topic 2, Eagles 35-20. I mean, sorry, 25-20 beat the Bears. Discuss the overall game plan. Do you think they were too pass happy, the Eagles offense? And what do you think was the reason why the Bears were so successful at stopping the run and pressuring Jalen?
I don't think that the Eagles were too pass happy. You can't go out and say that the Eagles were too pass happy. This has been their strategy since they got back from the bye week. That's right, and it's been successful.
Yeah.
With an exception of the Commanders, and the Commanders, it was self-inflicted. They still had offense. They didn't have as many possessions, but I can't say that it was too pass happy because this has been the strategy since the bye week. So did they execute it? No, I thought that they weren't prepared mentally for the game. That's what you can see. I saw guys that were anticipating getting to the sideline and get a jacket on.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I saw that. And what that lets me know is that you're not in the mental framework in order to play the game like the Bears were. The Bears were treating that game trying to prove that we got a young core and that we are going to be good. We want to let you know that this is no, we this I ain't no punk, right? They came out there. They came out there ready to play. And I don't think that we matched their intensity for the most part. And Jalen Hurts wasn't as accurate earlier in that game. Made a few mistakes, and I thought that he got a little bit trigger. I won't say shy, but I don't think that he was taking the chances and reading things out the way that he normally does. He began to go, I'm going to Devontae Smith and I'm going to A.J. Brown. Everybody else, y'all can kick rocks. This is their game today once he started making mistakes. And usually that's a sign that, you're not tuned into the game plan. Okay?
Okay.
So Bears, I want you to answer this question. What did the Bears do to stop the Eagles to stop the Eagles run game?
Well, I think kind of like what I mentioned before. I think the way to attack this offense is you have to attack the offensive line. And what I saw was a lot of stunts, a lot of movement. Guys weren't just coming off the ball and playing gaps. They were doing stunts, they were slanting, they were twists, all kind of movement, and it kept this offensive line, the Eagles' offensive line. I wouldn't say it kept them. It made it more difficult for them to, do their combos and their pulls because you're not sure exactly if someone's going to be where they're supposed to be, right? So if I'm Kelsey and I'm pulling, right, and there's a guy in front of me and all of a sudden he slants, that kind of changes everything up all the way down the line. I've never played offensive lineman, but that's what it seemed like to me. So I think a lot of the stunts, a lot of the movement, the secondary playing aggressive, and they were every time it was a zone run, they were forcing the pull, forcing Jalen to pull the ball and run. And like I said before, just tagging him, just tattooing him. And those linebackers, I was actually impressed. I know they traded away Roquan Smith.
Yeah, Sanborn's out there playing.
Yeah, they were looking good, man. That's a good young defense, like a good young core. They're going to be good in a few years.
Yeah, White and Sanborn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my same. Yes, the end or whoever was free. Sometimes it was a defensive lineman for some reason that was free based on what they were doing. Whoever was free just cut off Miles Sanders, and it seems like the stunt backside, right? So they would let the end go, right,
Yep.
or the guy was inside of him, depending on the front. They would let the end go. Right, but they would be looping people around to cover for that side,
Yep.
right? So it was a great game plan. So if you can imagine that the guy that's the free person, yeah, he's going to take the pitch, but they were looping people around it to get the quarterback, and it was great. And also the secondary defenders, They wanted to tackle.
Oh,
Jalen Johnson wanted action the entire game. He came to play pissed off. I was like, I love this young man. It was my first time seeing him play some football that I actually paid attention to. I enjoyed that young dude. I love competition like that. That made me respect him as a football player.
Yeah.
There's a few other guys out there that competed, but everybody on the Eagles staff and the players went away from saying, okay, Jalen Johnson, 33. Yeah, AJ Brown got him a few times, but that dude right there is a competitor. So I thought those guys were aggressive to the line of scrimmage, the safeties as well, aggressive to the line of scrimmage. Carson and Brisker getting to the line of scrimmage. So yeah, it was great. It was a great game plan in order to keep Jalen to keep the pitch, or keep the ball, and they got him. They were tagging him.
Yeah.
You don't like to see it. It was the one where he got hit straight up by a linebacker. I believe it was White on the right side. It was like the announcer was like, "Ooh, he got cracked." I was like, "All right, you gotta stop. You gotta stop this now."
Javin White. David.
Yeah. What do you?
Oh no, it might not have been, but
what do you?
Yeah, man, he was getting tagged.
He was getting tagged. All right, I'm gonna show you guys about the first interception. Is just a bad decision. I can't justify it. He got to recognize what underneath coverage is, and realize that underneath coverage was backing up because they were looking directly at his eyes.
Yeah.
So even if the ball would have had another 5 yards on it, he still could have probably tipped it in the air, which still could have led to a tip pick from somebody else.
Yeah.
So that's just a bad. I can't. There's no reason to coach that. That's just a bad decision. Just throw it out of bounds, run it, do whatever you got to do. All right.
Yeah.
The second pick. All right. So here's the play. Okay. They're in man-to-man coverage. Carson is back here. They're on this hash, a little bit, inside of the left hash. Carson is on this side. There's 3 guys over here. He knows that they're going to come this way. You can tell by film study. He's thinking that, right? But all of these guys got man-to-man coverage, okay? All right. Let's look at this play here. You can see him all the way over. A lot of people think it's Quez Watkins. I'm going to show you the play from this side because you can see it a little bit better. All right. Jalen Hurts at this moment is eyeing Quez Watkins the entire time. He's not looking over here. He's not looking over there. This safety is looking right at him. So he's eyeing Quez right now. This safety in relationship is right on where he's supposed to be, right on the football. Yep. Quez has to stem this route up in order to create separation. This is actually a good route by Quez Watkins. And at the break point, if he lays this ball out there, he would be able to get to it if he moves the safety. But he's looking right at him, right? He's looking right at Quez Watkins. Throws it before he even breaks, which is wrong in this situation. And the safety is just looking at his eyes. Now, this is where the play needs to be punted out of the playbook, right? You can't allow a guy to do this type of stuff. There is nothing in this route that's going deep at all. Whenever there's a deep cross, the only way that a deep cross concept works is if there's a post. There has to be a post. In this situation, the post should be here by AJ Brown. Therefore, if this guy, this middle of the field of safety, takes this away, there should be a post route right in this area. This is an unsound play. You're running a deep over, a basic, and whatever this is on this side with a flat route over here. You're running deep cross with a curl on the back side of it. What if they play cover 2?
Yeah.
It's strapped.
It's going to be sacked.
It's a strap. You're strapped if they play cover 2, right? If they play cover 4, you still strapped, right?
Yep.
What I'm saying is that on so many levels and on many different coverages, this play can get destroyed. The only one may work for is man to man. And if Jalen doesn't do what's right with his eyes, you can't even do it in man to man. So yes, it's a bad read by Jalen Hurts because he led the safety right to the play. But ultimately, this play needs to be punted because there's no post on this at all. You can't run deep cross concept without a post.
That's it. You're right. That safety wasn't threatened at all. He's actually breaking a little bit before the ball's out.
Before the ball is even out, right? And Quez right now, watch when Quez makes it. Watch Quez and the DB that's covering him. Don't think about the safety. Just watch the Quez and the DB. Don't think about safety. Watch. Quez has made the guy stumble. Right? So if Jalen Hurts had a post where this guy had to be honest, this may be a touchdown.
Yeah.
To either one, to A.J. Brown or him, if there's a post on this play.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad you pointed that out because at first I'm like, what is Quez doing? Because I thought maybe he couldn't see the ball because the sun was in his eyes or something. But
No,
that makes sense.
It took a little bit longer than expected, but I don't see a reason. Let's go back again. I don't see. Let's see. I don't see an immediate threat in the pocket that says Jalen Hurts got to get rid of that ball right now.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I mean? And this is only one play. There's multiple plays that I can go to about that. And since I'm on my horse real fast, let me show you one more play. This play was a critical fourth down play. This happens more. These two plays are not the only plays. Like I said, Jalen Hurts, I love him, didn't play well this game. Once the interceptions happened, he stopped reading the game and started relying on people rather than reading out the entire situation, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So in this situation, it's man to man. How do I know it's man to man? He's going with him in motion for the most part, but also look at every guy here. It's 10 people within the line of scrimmage. The only time that ever happens in football if it's man to man. It's 10 people within 5 yards. There's only one safety back here. Okay. So, and this guy's eye is here. This guy's eye is in the backfield. This guy's here. His eye is on this man. His eye is on this man. It's man to man. You would agree?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So now this guy is in motion. Gainwell is in motion. He's on a cross field motion. Gainwell is man to man, Jalen Hurts. There's nobody covering him. The guy that was coming in motion with him stopped. And now they're missing communication. All you have to do is throw this dude the ball because nobody is sticking him. This here is letting you know that he's not locked into the game because they sent him in motion for this reason, to check to see first if you get an outflank, because you get an outflank, we throw him the ball right away. That's the number one read in this route. He's got an outflank. He's wide open.
I think I see what you're saying on that, but I'm thinking he's seeing what we're seeing. He thought it was zone because nobody ran across.
You can't, because look at everybody else's eyes and look at these men right here.
Oh, he is wide open.
Look at you can't. I know he didn't come across, but that's a blown assignment, and you got to know when this man covers. It's not just the guy that goes in motion. If they're in man and a guy goes in motion and the dude start going in motion halfway, that don't happen. Usually everybody kick out one if it's zone. Right?
Yeah. Missed that one.
So he missed that, and A.J. Brown ended up losing the one-on-one situation. So yeah, let me get stop sharing.
Good. No, that was a good analysis, man. I
I was I was I was looking at this live like, what are we doing?
I know you was heated.
Because there was multiple opportunities. There was the one on the left sideline when there was a whole shot cover two and he underthrew it to AJ Brown for a touchdown and Jalen Johnson got a hand on it. It was a lot of plays like
Yeah,
that.
that one.
This game could have easily been 40 something to 20. It could have easily been that way. So therefore, the Eagles are still powerful just because it was a bad game.
Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think is a reasoning behind that? Like, do you think the the early picks got to him and he just kind of started to lock in, or you think it's a during the week type of thing? Wasn't studying enough this week or something?
No, no, I think that he said something after the game. He was honest. He said I really couldn't. He said I really couldn't feel my hands. I didn't anticipate it being that cold where I couldn't grip the ball the way I wanted to. And he's
Oh,
like, and then I couldn't see the field great. Like,
okay.
and I don't know what that meant. He said I didn't see the field great. And he owned it.
Yeah.
He owned it. The Bears did what the Bears do. They played more man coverage than they normally do against us. They did.
Yeah.
In some situations. But no, because on third downs they play man. And they did that. On third downs they play man. So I take that back. But he said that he wasn't seeing the field. And I don't. The Bears have a funny feel where they're in the shade, they're out. There's a bunch of stuff. You never know what it is. I don't think it was because he didn't study or prepare well. Jalen Hurts does that.
Yeah.
Like he's in the building. I won't ever question that. I just think that maybe the personnel was better than they anticipated.
Yeah.
The stunting up front caused him to be a feeling of insecure in the pocket, and I thought that was the biggest thing because once that line started to shift and the defense line started to shift and move and do all this stuff, and he started to get pressure from it. He didn't trust the pocket like he left the pocket 3 or 4 times when he never leaves the pocket anymore. He reverted back to some things because he wasn't sure in the pocket because he didn't know where it was coming from.
Got you.
So it was a great job by
The Bears.
the defensive coordinator by the Bears. So yeah, that's where I am. We kind of beat that portion of it up, Q.
Yeah. I gotta add this
All
because
right.
I think it's something that really needs to be said. I hate playing in Chicago. Absolutely. I know it's your hometown. I hate that field. I hate that stadium. It's cold as hell. And I don't think even when we were really good teams, we always had trouble playing there. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about that place. But I remember that field was terrible. It was slipping all over the place.
You always slip and fall in Chicago. Chicago and Notre Dame are 2 awful places to play when it comes to field, like just slipping and all of those things. But it is cold. It's cold in Chicago,
Yeah.
especially this time of the year. The lake effect, it's cold. Like
Yeah.
it's not normal for a lot of people that don't understand the wind dynamic that's in the city of Chicago. Like if you go to Chicago in the wintertime and it's 23 degrees and it looks sunny outside, like you walk down the window almost knock you over. Like that's how the wind gust comes in and it's a pretty tough place to play. So I can't say that. Now, Miles Sanders, we talked about him not getting many carries. Like, do you think we just outsmarting ourselves? Now, that's one area that I kind of think that we're outsmarting ourselves. What do you think?
I agree. I think there was a comment earlier in the year where they said, there was a game where he didn't get a lot of carries, and he said, I can't remember if it was Steichen or Sirianni. He said, we tried to run the ball with Miles more, but it was more with the RPOs.
Yeah.
So when you're going into a game and the team's not letting you get off the RPOs when you want, then you need to go back to a traditional run game, which we've seen them do in the past. And for whatever reason, they refused to go to it early on in that game. And I think it affected the rest of the game. I think moving forward, when teams are doing this, like the Texans did, the Bears, the teams that are successful, they're not going to let you get off with the RPO game. They need to go back to the traditional run game. And they did a great job of it last week against the Giants. And for whatever reason, it was like they refused to go to it. And hopefully, it's a lesson learned.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Talk
we'll see.
about AJ Brown and his ability to run this slant pattern and why he's so effective. From a defensive back standpoint, especially a corner, when you got a dude that big and that fast and that can run by you, and you're an outside leverage man because they're trying to funnel you to somebody. Talk about that.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, he's a big, strong body. And scheme-wise, I mean, there as a cornerback, there's only so much you can take away. You can't take away everything. And like you said, when you're taught to funnel the ball, especially if you're a man, you're expecting those linebackers to be in the middle in those passing lanes. Well, a couple plays, especially one I saw with the one young linebacker, we were just talking about him. I forget his name.
Is it Sanborn or White?
Sanborn. The zone read pulled him out, and he's on the backside. I think he's playing Will at this point. Zone read pulls. He's got to respect it, so he's sliding over a little bit, and Jalen pulls it and throws the ball right where Sanborn vacated.
I know.
So a lot of it is this, you know what I'm talking about? So a lot of it is the scheme, and you can't take away everything. When we played, even if we had inside help from linebackers, the corners played inside. But even then, when you got a guy that's 230 can run, run screens, run down the field, can do pretty much everything, it's tough sledding. And they got him a few times, but I'm just glad I ain't had to do it.
Yeah. I think he's so good at slant. First of all, he's explosive and sudden as well. And you don't want to give up the go route. And he makes it look the same.
Yes.
And once he gets there inside, he's not a slow dude. He's not the fastest. He's still a 4.4, 4.4. He's probably a 4.47, 4.46, something like that, right? So he's fast for that big body. So he gets all that in motion, and then he breaks it inside. You can't do anything about that. And you would rather give that up and hopefully one of these dudes up front bat the ball down or does something rather than him running by you. So you're like, all right, I would rather give up the slant rather than the deep ball.
Yeah. He reminds me a lot of Anquan, the way he's a big guy, but he's very shifty. And a lot of times unexpected. And I love the way AJ.
You disrespected AJ, man, with the speed thing.
No. See, the speed is different. Obviously, AJ's got
I love me some Anquan because me and Anquan are the only two people that able to play in our era because of how slow we were. It's hard. Listen, it's hard playing receiver when you can't run fast. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
The DBs just sit on everything.
Oh my gosh, it's hard. You got to be a salesman out there. But you're going to say that he's different because
no, I was just saying, and I like the way on his slants he gets his shoulder square. It gives Jalen a nice little backboard to throw the ball in there. So yeah, a lot of it was scheme stuff, but a lot of it was just that dog in him. So.
Yeah, I thought that the sideline throw to AJ Brown for the 68-yard one that kind of changed the complexion of the game to make the lead 25-13.
Yeah, it was huge.
I thought that throw was a great throw to him, but you know what's so funny is that when you are hitting slants all day, and he's the only dude that I won't say the only guy, but he didn't do anything special off the line of scrimmage. But it was that hesitation. This could be a slant.
Yeah.
Because they hit him with the slant so much. He took the same slant release outside and just went, but the guy didn't really and see it until it's not a slant. So you just go. And that's just playing off of what you've done in the past. You take the slant release and you just keep going. A guy like, oh, no, it's not a slant, it's a go. And it was just too late. And finally, Jalen Hurts missed him a few times earlier, but ended up getting him in that one. What'd you see on that? You see anything special in that play?
Yeah, I mean, nothing. I can't really add much to it. I mean, I thought it was a great throw.
Yeah.
Um, I was surprised that he didn't get in the end zone, but you know,
Brisker came to get him.
this became and got him.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, it was a great throw, great catch, something that they needed at the time.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was
All
good.
right. All right, so make sure that you check us out at Launch Trampoline Park in Deptford, New Jersey. Again, Launch Trampoline Park, Deptford, New Jersey. We do birthday parties, we do arcade and family events. Also, we have all the latest attraction, a full cafe, full arcade. Make sure you check us out, Launch Trampoline Park in Deptford, New Jersey. And you know what else we can get you into is the player sports stock market with Mojo. Mojo is building the sports stock market where you can invest in your favorite players, invest in what you know, turn your sports knowledge into real money with Mojo, the sports stock market. Real stats, real value. Shares entitle you to a guaranteed payout based on career ending stats. No off days, no off seasons. Share prices rise and fall constantly in real time based on career long projections. Cash out anytime. Build a portfolio, buy and sell on your terms. Every play, every game, every season. Mojo is available in New Jersey on iOS. By downloading the app, you have a chance to win up to $10,000 in free shares of player stock. Click the link in the description for a chance to win up to $10,000 in free shares of player stock. Must be 21 years or over and physically located in New Jersey to trade on Mojo. Have a gambling problem? Please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Q. This week, Mojo's picks are in. A.J. Brown is still climbing the ladder with a monster game. 9 receptions, 181 yards. Now, remember on Mojo, Mojo is not just about the game that happened this week and how a guy had a great game. It's about career-ending stats and who can potentially make you a lot of money. We talking about the guys that are flying under the radar or the guys that you see just are going to be staples and their career can just continually take off. Like we're looking for diamonds in the rough right now. AJ Brown is going to be AJ Brown. He is going up, increasing a little bit. What do you think about AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Gainwell, those types of things?
Man, out of these picks right now, my favorite is Quez. He's
Uh-huh.
down 2.21%.
Mm-hmm.
Gardner Minshew starting, and I don't know what it is, but every time a backup quarterback starts, it's always the number 3, the number 4 receivers, the backup running backs that tend to have great games when they come in. And I think that's because they spend a lot of time with those guys. They do a lot of extra work with those guys, a lot of scout team work with those guys.
Yeah.
So I like Quez, and I also like Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, for the foreseeable future on Mojo, I am going to get all the running quarterbacks back up at the
That's
beginning of
smart.
the season.
That's smart. I didn't even think of that. I
Yes,
see. I like the
because
way you thinking,
somebody
man.
gonna
Okay.
tag them. Somebody gonna tag one of these dudes, and you got to think like that, right? Because you
Yeah.
want a guy that's low and that's gonna get you a 40%er like Mike White did the other week. You know, you're looking at somebody like that, right? One of these guys get hurt and have a monster game. Jawan Johnson went up 19% this past week. Rashid Shaheed went up 19%. Trace McSorley that came in the game for injured Colt McCoy, third string quarterback, went up 37%. You got to think about these things so you can get a chance to get a guy like freaking Trace McSorley from Penn State. I know Jeff likes that. I didn't like that little dude at Penn State at all. Just for the record.
Oh man.
There's also a few guys that are falling like fast, like EQ St. Brown for the Bears. They got hurt. It was a concussion. I'm pretty sure it was a concussion. He's down. That's a guy that you can probably get because the Bears are depleted. They still have games left. He may miss this next game, but he went out pretty early, so he may be back this week. And he's a young guy that wants reps, so he's going to be eager to get back out there, and they need him to play. So that's a guy that's down right now that you may want to put some money into. There's other guys. There's other guys that are in line as well.
Noah Brown is up 12.87%. I actually like him. He's a Cowboy, but I actually like his game a little bit.
He ended up dropping the game winner, though.
Yeah, but
he didn't drop the game winner, but he ended up dropping the ball that won the Jaguars the game.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, he did play. He did play well. Besides that play,
and KJ Osborne, he's not on here, but he's got to be up there. I like his game too for the Vikings.
Oh yeah,
all right.
Very nice. Very nice.
Good stuff.
Make sure that you are checking out Mojo. Get it, download on your iOS device. And if you have any gambling problems, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, Q. Let's wrap up this portion.
Here we go. So Hassan Reddick, Josh Sweat, Javon Hargrave, they all had 2 sacks. It's the third straight game when the Eagles had 6+ sacks. You think they're figuring things out, or are they just facing really bad offensive lines?
I think they're doing a little bit of both. They're facing some bad O-lines. The Bears have backups everywhere. Guards, tackles, bunch of guys hurt. So they're really bad. The Giants, really bad. There's a bunch of bad teams.
Titans.
However, our guys are dominant. And once this happens, they're leading the league in sacks. It's going to continue to happen because the confidence is at an all-time high. If you start getting sacks, right, even the dude that doesn't look good, if you get a pretty girlfriend, he going to think you look good.
That's right.
He gonna walk around like he's fine right now because he got a dime. He walking with a dime. He was, he started to believe it, started to feel himself. What I'm saying is, ultimately, our team, yes, they are playing bad offensive lines, but they are good anyway. And even if they weren't, their confidence is up, so they're going to play well. But let's talk about something. Hassan Reddick, the last 3 or 4 games, and pretty much the whole season, this dude's ability to use his hands looked like E Honda on Street Fighter out there. Against the Giants, he was out there like this.
Yeah.
And getting under it, he got this little shoulder swivel, and he can get low with it. They had nothing for that man the entire game. Last 2 games, nothing for this guy, nothing for him. He could have had, I counted, he could have had 5 sacks that game.
Yeah.
And if he wasn't playing Justin Herbert, if he wasn't playing Justin Fields, he would have had 5 sacks. But that's just a super athletic dude that you're not going to be able to get down. He's going to make some amazing plays at times. But he could have had 5 sacks in that game.
It's incredible, man.
It was unbelievable. And so when you add the combination of those dudes, and I talked about this, I think last week, is that you got BG, who's a superior bull rusher. Superior, because he gets low and he's really not that tall, and he can hit on the rise and keep his momentum in his base, and you can't do anything with that, right? Then you have Sweaty, who gets off the ball better than everybody, and he's long and he's rangy. And then you have a great bender and counter rusher and Hassan Reddick. Those 3 dudes with 3 different styles is just unguardable. You can't block it. together, especially when they bring them to you in waves and at different times. It's too much. And then you got gap shooters like Hargrave, and then a big, powerful dude and Fletch. It's a lot of variety up front. And we're not talking about, Jordan Davis, and we're not talking about Milton Williams, who's also a gap shooter, and Linval and Sue. Like, there's a lot of experience in there that's, I think, elevate everybody's game.
Yeah. You're right. Shoot. And it's like, pick your poison. Like, you show up. I mean, you can't go a whole game going one-on-one. They're gonna force you in a one-on-one situation. Somebody's gonna win. Or 1, 2, 3 guys gonna win. So I mean, these guys are phenomenal.
They can generate pass rush, man.
Yeah.
If you get them in a passing situation, like who look Hassan Reddick the last 3 weeks and looked like Nick Bosa out there.
Yeah.
Nick Bosa is a dude that you cannot block. You can't, like, if you leave him one-on-one, the dude to mess around and have 8 or 9, 10 sacks in a game. I'm not lying. I'm not exaggerating to you. If you leave him one-on-one, he's like Aaron Donald. You leave him one-on-one, they're going to get sacked. These last couple games, I ain't say every game this year, but these last couple games, Hassan Reddick, if you leave him one-on-one, he left out of the game with 5 sacks.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
That's impressive, especially too. He
had 5 tackle sacks in his hand.
Yeah,
he missed 3 of them. It was tough, tough dude to get down. But go ahead.
Boy, strong, man.
Yeah,
but he's a right DN too, which is amazing. I mean, he's in the quarterback's eyesight, and he's still doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
he was getting other people sacked last week.
Yeah.
Multiple. Yeah. Are the Eagles more superior offensively or defensively? Oh,
that's a tough one, man.
Oh. Oh.
That's not even fair, man. That's who can answer that?
Who gets the most credit? The division in this question. Great question, Jeff.
They're more. I'm gonna cheat on this one. They're more superior in the trenches. There you go. The offensive line and defensive line is superior. That's your answer right there.
That's the answer.
That's it. They're superior in the trenches. But no, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Oh, that's the answer. That is the answer. They're more superior in the trenches. Shoot.
It's tough, man.
I think let's think. I think you have to say defensively.
You think so?
Even though it doesn't look like it. Because when you think of defensively more superior, you think of what the Niners did the other night versus the Seahawks. Like, you're not getting yards.
Yeah.
You're getting off the field 3 and out. Our defense doesn't do that. But when you look at the end of the game, the team has 15, 20 points. And they got 6 sacks and a turnover or 2. So when you think about it all, they're number 1 in takeaways, they're number 1 in sacks, they're number 1 in passing defense, they're number 1 in a lot of categories. Run, not so much. 4th down conversions, not so much. 3rd down conversions, not so much. Like, there's certain elements of them that makes it look worse at times, but overall, our defense has been playing the best football week in and week out.
Yeah. All right.
We can point to games where the offense has been stifled. Stop. I can't point to a game where the offense has been stifled. I can point to a game where the offense made mistakes, self-inflicted mistakes.
I agree. I got nothing to add that. As long as you're giving the defense some love, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you some love. All right, last thing. On the last few things before we get into the questions. Oh no, we got a few more things. Boston Scott kick return. What do you think? Big return again? What do you we making something, or are we fluky out there?
I love this dude, man. I love when he's in the game. I just love when he has the ball in his hand.
Just making stuff happen. He's like, all right,
Yeah,
y'all drafted these dudes in front of me. I just showed you I can ball. Y'all try to get rid of me every year. I'll figure out a way to make myself useful. I'll start returning kicks.
that's it. Like, how can you not love that, man?
I, he need to learn how to catch punts.
Yeah,
It's so hard.
it's hard. It's a different ball game. Punts and
It's a
kickoff.
totally different ball
It's
game.
totally different ball game.
But Boston, if you ever listen to this show, learn, go hire a special teams coach in the off season, somebody that can teach you when nose is up, when it turns over, when it's down, when it's going to sail on you, when it's going to come back. Learn how to catch punts. You can last in this league another 5, 6, because you'll be a great punt return.
Yeah,
Because you're not scared.
yeah. He
Yeah.
always makes plays when we need it.
And you can stay on the team because you can contribute on offense and you can return
Yeah.
punts and kickoffs. Man, listen, I'm trying to keep you around 10, 12, Boston. I'm trying to keep you around. Running backs, the shelf life low.
That's real.
Sproles around till the cows come home. He catch kicks. Punts. When you're a little dude, you got to do it all. You better be out there breakdancing at halftime in the locker room, trying to stay around.
Make them kick you out, like they say.
Yeah. All right, here we go. We got to talk about this Dallas week. Not the Dallas week that we wanted. Cowboys end up losing a game in which the big mouth Micah Parsons was talking junk about Jalen Hurts and goes down. The Cowboys not focus on the Jaguars and get smacked by the Jaguars.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
I don't love it.
Why?
Because I wanted the build up. I wanted the crescendo. I wanted the entire national TV audience to see us beat the hell out of the Cowboys on Christmas Eve. That's what I wanted. Selfishly, as the receiver in me, wanted all the big lights and all the attention. And I love me some me on Cowboys Day. That would have been great for the team, great for the Philadelphia Eagles. Dang, Cowboys. Shoot. Jalen Hurts would have got hurt. Y'all won. No,
What'd you say?
Jalen Hurts would have got hurt if you.
God, I was talking before the show with Jeff. I think the Cowboys and the Patriots fans are two of the most annoying sets of fans in all of sports. I can't stand Cowboy fans.
And you know the Patriots fans are just bandwagoners.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But at least they've won something in this millennium.
Yeah.
Like we need a time machine to go back to when the Cowboys were relevant in the playoffs. Get the DeLorean now so they can go back and celebrate them rings back in the 80s and 90s, whenever that was.
In the 90s. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I'm excited, man. Even though our guy Hurts won't be there, he's gonna be sitting. I'm excited for the game, Christmas Eve. Give me some eggnog, sit there, watch the Eagles just beat up on the Cowboys. It'll be beautiful.
It's gonna be a tough game though. This is why it'll be a tough game because we don't have the read option element the same without Jalen Hurts, and now who was in that read option element last time we played, Micah Parsons. So Micah Parsons is going to have a more traditional drop back passer, which is a traditional Micah Parsons versus, Jordan Mailata, which is a tough matchup for Jordan Mailata. So there's going to be some opportunities for him. They can do what the Jaguars did and get the ball out extremely quick to the playmakers. And they're missing Anthony Brown. He's out for the season. You got a very aggressive Trayvon Diggs, in which both of our guys can run. All three of our guys can run by him with a double move. We just have to be willing to take those shots. So I'm looking forward to it. Is it the same? We got to be able to stop the run and limit their pass rush. If we can do that, if we can make their pass rush obsolete, the Cowboys have no shot. If the Cowboys don't get turnovers by Trayvon Diggs or one of the safeties, Hooker, the guys in the back end, and Mike Parsons getting sacked, like they're done. Yeah. If their defense isn't balling, they're not the same team. Their offense gets shorts filled and all that type of stuff. Yep. And the thing that I think we have a superior advantage in is their receivers versus our DBs.
Absolutely. I think that is where I think our defense is going to shut them down. I don't think Dak has been the same since his injury. Obviously, he doesn't have the same weapons, but, he gets skittish back there. He throws interceptions. He doesn't look like the same guy he used to be. And to me, I think that's the biggest story with this team. I mean, defense, they're up and down, but Dak and this offense is really their weakness right now.
Yeah. Everybody's like, they scored this amount of points since then. It's short fields.
Yep.
Okay. So that's where it is. We can get into all the scenarios. The Eagles win this. Basically, they clinch a first round, in the playoffs, pretty much.
Yeah.
All there's still a few games, but the Eagles are pretty much home field advantage.
I always hated all that stuff, like all the scenarios and trying to figure it all out.
Q, we got a few questions.
Okay.
Question from David V.
Hello. You want me to get this one?
Go ahead, yeah.
All right, so this is David V. Thank you. He's all the way from Norway. He says, hello from cold, snowy Norway, or a la, hopefully I'm saying this right, a la pare. I don't know what that, as we say over here. Great show. I always enjoy listening to you guys talk about your playing days and breaking down the games. Every time I watch clips from players being mic'd up, they always give the other players a heads up that they're mic'd up. And if someone forgets, like Lane Johnson against Tennessee, they apologize. So what are players saying when no one's listening? Who are they talking about? And do you guys have any stories about anything being caught on a hot mic?
The mic'd up dude, David, is the police.
Yes.
Right? We want to be uncensored, just like a man and his friends in the cave, right? You don't want the women hearing the conversation and you talking about some other girl's big butt, right? You don't want to hear that type of stuff, right? We're talking about stuff that people on TV may not have any idea about. We're talking about, dude, that dude out there, his breath smell like doo-doo. Or, he can't cover me at all. And we don't want to see that on bulletin board material. You know what, man? He smoked me on that last play. It kind of hit my sternum. We're talking about all types of stuff, man. You see the Lakers game, LeBron went crazy out there on it. Like, we're talking about so much stuff, not only the game, but there are so many other sidebar conversations like, oh, yo, you see her on the first row? Oh, my God. It's a lot of stuff that's going on out there.
Yeah. And it needs to stay out there. It don't need to be. And the other part, too, is when we get those mics, we don't necessarily know who's stockpiling that stuff. I mean, they could be having them recordings from like 10, 20 years ago, and they bring that stuff back out. You running for Congress, and all of a sudden they got you talking about somebody big butt in the stand. And all of a sudden you don't get voted in. So that stuff needs to stay.
So you don't know. And then, it could be anything. It could be stuff on there like you may disagree with the play call. Like, dude, why does he keep calling cover 4? Like, we've been getting killed on the post the entire day in this 3x1. Like, what are we doing? Why do we keep calling this? Right? And if that get leaked on there, now you got to answer that to the media and the coaches and all types of stuff. So you're trying to stay away from the mic'd up dude because you can't say what you need to say. Because I'm out there like, dude, hey man, Donovan better start throwing me the ball. like I'm over there like, dude, I'm open the entire game. I'm over talking to Deshaun. I'm open the entire game, and we losing right now. I know it's his job to get you the ball, but he need to get me the ball first so I can loosen them up for you. Like that's the type of stuff that goes on. But we don't want everybody to know about that because it kind of creates like dissension in the locker room.
Yep.
Yeah.
There it is.
And there it is.
There it is. That's it. I've been mic'd up one time when I was in St. Louis, and I warned everybody, hey, I'm 5-0. I'm 5-0 today. So just so y'all know, I'm mic'd up. All right, don't come around me saying nothing that's gonna get me in trouble or nobody else in trouble.
Yeah, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing.
Oh man. Here's another question from Lion.
Hey, you know what being mic'd up is? Mic'd up. Mic'd up is like getting a call with your boy in front of your girl. That's what being mic'd up is.
like Kevin Hart saying,
hey, my girl sitting right there, right next to me. Right there, we got you on speakerphone.
Dog, that reminds me. I saw on Instagram a video. This lady, she was with her. She had her boyfriend next to her, and she was calling all her friends, and she was like trying to prove to them that her friends are alive for her. So the first thing she would say, hey, "I got you on speakerphone," and then she'd say something like, "What was the name of that drink that you had when we was at the club last night?" And you could tell the person was thinking. They're like, and then they'll say, they'll make up some kind of drink or whatever.
Yeah.
And the boyfriend was sitting there like, man, ain't this girls lying for each other?
Facts. All right. Question from Lionel. Is this the Eagles' best offense in franchise history so far?
I mean, I don't. That's a tough one.
Franchise
Statistically,
history? I don't know. I got to have the stats right in front of me.
Yeah,
It may be. It's definitely up there because they generate a lot of points.
Yeah.
And they don't really have weaknesses, and they usually expose the other defense. That offense with T.O. was pretty special, though. You were on that team.
Yeah, that was a special. I would say those are the top two. Statistically, it's hard to tell right now, but I mean that team: T.O., Westbrook, Donovan, tight end. Who was it?
It was LJ and no, it was Chad.
Oh yeah, Chad LJ got hurt. Chad came in. I mean, that was a phenomenal offense. So it's a toss-up for me. I think this team though is very, very special, and it can be by the end of the season. If they, depending on how far they make it, it'll probably be the best in history.
Yeah, we had a few too that were some good offenses. Consistent like this, no. I would say that this probably is the most complete offense of my time.
Yeah.
Of my time. Because you had T.O., but you had Ty Pinkston, which was a burner, but he's not Devontae.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it could be.
James Thrash was one of our receivers.
Yeah,
so,
I like James Thrash, actually.
I like James, man.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. He just wasn't, he wasn't at the level
of T.O.
or Deshaun or those guys. All right. Last one. All right. So this one's from Fee from South Philly. Do you think the Eagle Dynasty is back with the way the team is looking 12-1 or 13-1 now, and youth-wise and future picks? So do you think this dynasty is back?
Fee, I don't understand your definition of dynasty, but I think my definition is multiple championships.
Yeah.
And I would think 3 is when you start to talk about dynasty. So if the Eagles win this year, that'll be 2 Super Bowls in the last 5 years. That conversations can start to probably be had, right? Especially if they win a third one in the next 5 years in that time or 3 years or so. Yeah, you can start getting in there, but Dynasty, no. Are they building a team that's going to be able to compete over the next 5, 6 seasons? Yes. They're building a team with a young nucleus, and they are rebuilding from the Super Bowl year the proper way. Yes, that's what they're doing. But Dynasty, you got to win another Super Bowl in order to get the word Dynasty implemented into the conversation. Are they building a good, strong base? Yes. And Howie's doing a good job, and he's done it pretty fast.
Yeah.
A lot of questions to be had, though, because remember, a lot of these players that you see on this team will not be on this team next year. Will not be on it. A lot of them. Not of 2 of them. No, like 5 or 6 starters won't be here next year.
Yep. It's gonna be a sad day, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, Fletch. Ugh.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of guys. It's gonna be a lot of guys.
It's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So that is the Q&A podcast. We went long because of some stories and also the long tape breakdown and a few other things, but make sure you constantly check in with us on Inside the Birds platform. Thank you to Jeff. Thank you to Adam. Thank you to Josh. Thank you to Evan, everybody that's responsible for putting us on the show, and all the fans that's tuning in. Thank you guys. Peace out. Q, you got the last word.
As always, man, much appreciated. I love the show. I love, coming on and learning from you as I always do. And let's do it again next week, man. Happy holidays, everybody. Enjoy Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all that stuff. Have fun. See you.